So this is a re-upload. What we need in this country is a combination of patriotism and socialism. For too long, we've let the edgelords and the idiots and the people that don't know shit about this country talk at length about how this country is terrible, this country is horrible. I admit this country has done terrible things. I admit this country has done a great deal of injustice that it still needs to answer for. Having said that, if we're going to go down that route of settler colonialism and everything else in between, we can apply it to every single country in the world. The Japanese weren't the first original natives. They killed off the Ainu. Same thing with the Han Chinese. They killed off whatever native inhabitants were there. But that's the nature of those countries back then. That's the nature of how countries were founded. Everything came from someplace else. That's not obviously to downplay anything, but again, if we're going the postmodern route, we can go all day with that. The point is, we as the working class in America are the most at risk of being encircled. We have had socialist movements in this country. We've had William Z. Foster. We've had Williams Jennings Bryan. We've had Huey Long. We've had Eugene Debs. We've had a great deal of socialist movements and populist movements in this country, including a fusionist movement in North Carolina in the early 1900s, which black sharecroppers and white sharecroppers banded together against the rich. Unfortunately, the rich won, but the fusionist movement made some gains. Same thing with the 60s and with the Black Panther Party unifying with the Young Lords, unifying with the Young Patriots, I believe. It was black, Puerto Rican, and white unifying in Chicago, but the leader was killed and everything fell apart. So it's not to say that socialism doesn't work or socialism has never been tried in this country. It has. It's just been suppressed every single time it's even bothered to spring up anywhere. And if Cuba has sanctions on it, if Belarus has sanctions on it, if the majority of countries that are against U.S. hegemony, that are against NATO hegemony, have sanctions, what do you think they're going to do to the working class in the heart of the beast, in the belly of the beast? They're going to encircle it much more than they've ever encircled any other country. Again, it's local. So the point being, we need a patriotic socialism. We need a socialism that cares about this country, that cares about the working man and woman, that cares about the working class people of this country. Because for too long, people have blamed this country for living under a dictatorship of capital. It is not the country that's the problem. It's the people running it. It's the dictatorship of capital. It's the fact that we have been brainwashed to have our culture being pushed towards money, towards filthy lucre, towards every sort of degeneracy you can think of. The rich push their garbage on us and then laugh as the working class struggle for scraps or are helplessly ripped apart by the social upheaval, the constant social upheaval, I might add. Think about it. A generation has lived through 2 economic crises, right? Marriage is too expensive. Kids are too expensive. You can't even buy a house at this point without sinking in $500,000, and that's if BlackRock doesn't buy it before you do. So we know the problems. We have to start focusing on the solutions. We need a future for this country. We need a future for the working class people of this country. We need a future for the proletariat and a future for our future children. We need a future for this world. And the best place to start building a better future for this world is in the heart of capital, right here in the United States. That's what needs to be. That's what needs to be done. That's what needs to happen. This is not some, fair weather circle jerk about how, I hate this country because it oppressed people. No, never has been. Hate doesn't do anything. Hate only provides fuel, but if you have no car to put the gas in, it does nothing. It just burns itself out. So what do you need? You need to push for better. Because if Cuba did it, if Russia did it, if Vietnam did it, if Belarus did it, we in the United States can do it too. We can push for better, and we will. I'll be around.